Today's the 12th of January. It's 12:35. How much of a critical thinker are you? I mean, are you somebody that questions everything? Are you a curious person? If you're curious by nature, you should question everything. As a child, I would spend hours playing outside, but it was, I remember it distinctly. Digging up anthills, and watching the ants' behavior, looking and observing behaviors, differences. That was in an anthill. I taught myself so much stuff just by doing things like that. Being curious, being observant, and questioning things, looking for answers. I have come to realize that most people are not like this. To your detriment. You need to understand. Are you placated? Just like the Romans would do with their citizenry, with bread and circuses? You're going to be like Marie Antoinette when they're coming for her and King Louis XIV, and they say they don't have any bread, and she says, well, let them eat cake. Do you understand the significance of what that means? Let them eat cake? Look, I don't get on here to bash anybody, but I got to tell you something. The lack of people who want to think and investigate and search for the truth is very, very scary and frightening to me. I harp on this all the time. Lack of an understanding of history, lack of being able to discern truth from falsehood. Don't believe anything anybody says. Don't believe anything I say. Good God, no. But look into it. Investigate it. We now have the tools to investigate anything on a scale that's never been seen before by mankind. If you don't understand anything about nuclear physics, good grief, you can spend the rest of your life online learning about it. Back in the day, I remember a time where I went to a library. I would exhaust every book on a subject. And then I'd find another library and go there and see if I could find different books on the subject. I'm not bragging. Once again, I'm not bragging. But if you don't have that type of tenacity to understand things, to learn things, so your mind grows, the synapses of your brain get formed when you're young. Are you letting your children stay stuck to a phone? Are you letting your children stuck playing on video games? Because you're stunting their ability to think critically. Now that I went on that little tangent, I want to try to bring it full circle. What makes Donald Trump so dangerous that you have to try to impeach him twice? And the mode of that impeachment is to make sure that he doesn't hold a political office again. Why? Because they're afraid he's going to get into a political office again. What makes Donald Trump so dangerous to the point where you have people in the Senate and people in Congress, people in the media say they need to cleanse the country of his movement. They need to ban certain senators, have a flight ban because that's reserved for terrorists. And all of a sudden now, because you have a handful of troublemakers that storm the Capitol, you end up with Dick Durbin, who's a very well-known and very powerful senator from the shithole state of Illinois, wants to label Trump rallies as domestic terrorists so they can't have them. Well, isn't that interesting? Antifa's been running around for 4 years burning buildings Over 150 federal buildings have been damaged by Antifa in the past 4 years. Over 150. There's been a lot of loss of life too, and I heard all the statistics about an hour ago, and the only one that stuck in my mind was the 150 buildings that they have damaged. They run around with flags, they dress in black, they have a little handbook on how to conduct their business. They do covert activities, infiltrate peaceful protesting and turn it into riots and burning and looting. Yes, they do this, but yet our government allows them to do it. They don't say a damn thing. But a handful of some agitators take advantage of a crowd of 200,000 people, do some shenanigans in the state capitol, where there was very little damage done, very minor damage. They want to label them terrorists now. If you don't see where this is going, and then don't get me going on what big tech has done with Parler, what big tech did with Parler. Amazon, Twitter, Facebook, what they're doing is very, very dangerous, people, if you don't understand. Trying to control the flow of information because they understand. Look, they already control the media. They control the media. They are going to come after every media corporation that doesn't adhere to their guidelines. So they're going to come after every alternative news source on cable TV or regular TV and online. They are going to crack down on this. And the reason they're doing it now is because they are assured that Biden is not going to do anything to them. Under a Trump administration, they're terrified that they're going to get their protections removed. But that's not going to happen under a Biden administration. They're allowed to do business as usual. More so. Folks, they are brainwashing you. They are controlling. Look, they that control the power, that control the flow of information, have power. They're the ones that control the power. Who controls them? Who's in bed with them? Who are they hobnobbing with? Think. Start thinking. Put your biases aside. I don't care what political affiliation you are. Start looking at things. Take a magnifying glass. Open your mind. Some of the most intelligent, I've said this before, some of the most intelligent people I know are the stupidest human beings I know. I was a wonderful, beautiful, kind human being until Donald Trump got elected and I let people know I voted for him. All of a sudden I became racist. I said to a couple of them, geez, funny I wasn't racist when I had you between the sheets. But apparently I am now. There's no hint of racism before, but I'm all magically I'm racist now. Folks, there are some dangerous and scary times coming ahead, and this isn't even the beginning. They haven't even taken office yet. You need to understand something. They are going to crush, and they're going to do it in a soft way. They're going to crush any kind of opposition to any of the way they think. They do not want unity. They want compliance. To them, that's unity. And sadly, historically speaking, the majority of people stood silently by when these things happened. There were a lot of vocal people about the rise of Nazism in Germany. They saw it for what it was. But the truth of the matter was, the German people were desperate for help at that particular time in American history. Or not in American history, in world history. I'm having a Biden moment again. They were desperate because of the world, the Great Depression and the sanctions that were put upon them because of World War I. And Hitler gave those people hope. They saw him as hope. Boots on the ground hope. The other thing that you don't hear about, that nobody talks about, part of the rise of Nazism had to do with the fear of communism on the eastern border, because the Russians were on the eastern border. 20 years prior, there was a violent communist revolution, like something the world never saw before. People were terrified of it, particularly if you were living on the borders of it, and rightly so. Nobody knew what the hell to do about it. Nobody knew what to do about it. So what did they do? They turned to somebody that actually said, hey, we're gonna do something about it. Now, I understand, don't get me wrong, I understand why the leftists would look at Trump and say he's Hitler-esque. I kind of get it. But the point is, Donald Trump is more like he's a patriotic person who wants what's best for the country. I don't think he gives a damn about what the hell color you are, what the hell sexual orientation you are, or what the hell gender you think you are, how many genders, what you consider their genders are now. I don't think he gives a damn about that. And most conservatives don't give a damn about that either, unless you're going to shove it down our throats. I don't know about you, but do you like having a big pile of shit being shoved down your throat? Because half of the stuff they have is shit to me, and they're trying to force feed me to eat their shit. Well, I want nothing of it. I don't want to force anybody to eat my shit. Go about your life and ignore what I do. I ignore what the hell you do. Ignore what I do. Why do anything I do got to pertain to you, and you have to make a big ass deal out of it? There are difficult times coming, folks, and I want to stress this. You people who profess to be Christians, you are going to find out real quick about what separating the wheat from the chaff is, the goats from the sheep is. You're about to find out. And a lot of you are going to jump ship because you really don't belong to the one who made you. You are going to jump ship when it gets hard, because they are going to come for you. They're coming for me. For the minute they decide that they are going to start some type of legislation in regards to hate speech. The Bible is full of hate speech, and so is the Quran. But they will never go after that, because they know that if they go after that, the consequences of violence are extremely high. They'll never do it. They'll never do it. They'll never do it. Start thinking. Start thinking for a change. Get your head out of the sand and start being a critical thinker. It's never too late. It's never too late. Put down the video games, put down the phone, and start thinking. If the media keeps telling you the same thing over and over again, it's probably a lie. Start investigating why they're doing that. Start thinking and get your head out of the sand.